Our only witness, okay.
We might have to go start them all over again.
I know, we
We're
are.
gonna restart the meeting, or?
Yeah, I'm gonna call her to order. Sorry about that, guys. I was like, I'm forgetting something. False start, just practicing.
Practice run.
All right. Call to order the regular meeting of council for Wednesday, October 16th, 2024. We'd like to acknowledge that we are gathered on Treaty 8 First Nations territory in the long-standing presence of the elders and ancestors of Treaty 8. Through this acknowledgement, we extend recognition and respect to the BC Treaty 8 First Nations and all those who call the Peace Country home. Item number 3, adoption of agenda. Recommendation to adopt the agenda as presented. Seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you. Discussion? Councillor Wall?
I would like the addition of M. Land under the final motion to move to in-camera.
So adding M to the 91C?
Yes.
So it'll be 91C and M.
Yes.
Okay.
For Land.
Can I get a seconder on that? Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Thank you very much. Any other discussion regarding the agenda? Councillor Woodall?
There's going to be just a minor thing. Under item 13.1, just adding the council received the office park upgrade fund request.
Yes.
Just for clarification, it's for the park.
It's for the park, not for the office.
Yeah.
That was seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you very much. Mr. Anderson?
And with the addition of handout 13.1 be part of the agenda as well, please. That goes with it.
Okay. Adding the addition of 13.1 as a handout. That was seconded by Councillor
Well, I guess
Wall.
I'll make that motion.
He moves, I'll second.
Yeah, we have so many things I've got to call the question on. I've just realized that. Okay. Yeah.
Have fun.
I know. No, I think I can wrap it all into one pretty little bow. Okay. Any other marks or notes on the agenda? None? Okay. All those in favor of adopting the agenda with the amendments presented? And that is carried. Wonderful. Thank you. Okay. Item number 4, adoption of minutes. 4.1, the council adopt the minutes from the regular council meeting held on October 2nd, 2024. Seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you. Discussion regarding the minutes. Councillor Wall?
I move that we add the carried unanimously, however it may have gone, with the addition of the seconders and the motion makers on page 1 of the minutes.
Under item number 3, adoption of agenda. For the minutes?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. All right. Seconded by Councillor Ravel. Thank you. Any other discussion regarding the minutes? Councillor Ravel?
Just a minor area of technical nature. Under 14 reports from my report, I was elected the treasurer for the Pouce-Coupe Royal Canadian Legion instead of treasurer. It's just a minor error.
Okay, and where is it? Sorry, under number 4, under
14.2, the last item there, the 4th item.
Next is treasured.
Yes.
I appreciate that I'm treasured, but
Okay. So treasured. So
it's
you would like it to say treasurer, obviously.
just a minor technicality. It's all good. Yeah.
Okay, perfect. All right, anything else? All right, all those in favor adopting the minutes for the regular council meeting on October 2nd, 2024 with those amendments? And that is carried.
Did we need a seconder for that?
No, because I don't think so, because you're just making a note.
Okay.
I think we're all good. Okay, introduction of late items, none.
Yes.
No, we already done.
It was already done.
We didn't.
Oh, that's included in
Public hearings, none. Delegation 7.1, the Dawson Creek Society for Community Living, the Pouce-Coupe Seniors Service Development. The council accepts the delegation report for information. Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Thank you. All those in favor? And that's carried. All right, Ms. Ann, the floor is yours. All right. Handout. Thank you. You're more welcome. You can stand in the middle. You can stand at a podium, whatever you're most comfortable with.
We can pass them around, honestly.
Yeah, I can
It's all
pass
good.
them around.
All right.
Sure. I need one. This one.
He just like hands out you one, takes the whole.
I almost did. Yeah, almost.
And you went down individually.
Thank you. All right, Ann, the floor is yours.
Okay. So, my name is Ann Pearson. I'm from the Dawson Creek Society for Community Living. agency for almost 25 years. We've done a lot of great things in the community, and in the last 5 years or so, we've taken on senior services. Can everybody hear me okay?
Yeah, of course.
Heads a little stepped up. Okay, so we want to propose some senior services for Pouce Coupe. They've been left out of the loop in a lot of areas, a lot of different groups that have created senior services. Pouce Coupe is just kind of is an anomaly in the middle that hasn't been able to get anything. So we want to create sustainable supports to seniors in Pouce Coupe. As seniors age, aspects of daily living become difficult. Supporting seniors to age in their own homes is preferable, as aging options like assisted living have very limited spaces. And the mental aspect of staying in one's own home makes seniors healthier and happier, and that's what we want. Right? This proposal is different from the previous trial that we did last year. It was a little bit on the pricey side for Pouce Coupe, and we understand that. So we want to tell you it's going to be different. The housekeeping will be done by a single person for 1.5 hours twice a month. And last year's trial was 2 people for 2 hours every 2 weeks. So that will significantly decrease the cost of housekeeping, which was the most popular. The seniors will be provided, that want meals, will be provided with 3 fresh homemade meals weekly. The last trial was 5 fresh frozen meals, which are, a little bit harder to stomach some days.
And these are pictures of your fresh meals here.
Yes.
So they're delivered daily then?
No,
They
they
actually
are
make you
delivered once a week. We'll deliver once a week. We'll deliver 3 meals to whatever seniors are signed up, and they can choose to, if they want to just leave them in the fridge or they want to put one in the freezer. Having said that, I have 6 meals in the fridge for you guys to take home for your lunches tomorrow.
Oh, thank
you.
you.
You're welcome. And so you can get a good idea of the quality and our what we really want for seniors to have. Right? So this proposal is the base cost for the program that can support up to 15 seniors per service. So we intend to provide Pouce Coupe seniors with 3 service options. 3 homemade, healthy and fresh meals delivered to each participant weekly, a bi-monthly housekeeping service, and snow removal. To offset the cost of the program, the program participants will be charged a small fee, so $5 per meal, so $15 per week for the senior, $15 per service for the housekeeping for the 1.5 hours, and $20 per service for snow removal. Those will be costs that the seniors will incur, and those costs we would bill and collect from the seniors on behalf of the seniors. Our rotation for our meals will be over 6 weeks, as you can see with the handout. I have evened it out. There might be a variation on occasion, but we're very proud of the meals that we provide. We provided over just about 5,000 meals for the residents of Dawson Creek last year with this program. So objectives to enhance the personal health and nutrition of participants by providing the meals, supply the housekeeping services, and the snow removal as needed from November through March to a maximum of 3 times per month. And as part of the housekeeping and the meal delivery service, we provide opportunities for social inclusion to help reduce loneliness for seniors as well. So the goal of the program is to maintain the quality of life for Pouce Coupe seniors by providing them with supports that help them stay in their own homes longer, specifically meals, housekeeping, and snow removal, along with linking them to their neighbors and community by providing opportunities to increase their social inclusion and community connection. Seniors in Pouce Coupe would benefit from ongoing supports, and as such, Dawson Creek Society for Community Living, in partnership with Pouce Coupe, would like to see a 3-year commitment. This would give seniors a much-needed respite from worrying about how to manage ongoing struggles with daily living, as well as to give time to evaluate the effectiveness of the program, along with support and availability to seniors daily through us. We would also provide a formal survey annually. Meals will be prepared in Dawson Creek Society's licensed kitchens by our qualified cook and previous restaurant owner. She strives to make seniors feel good with some amazing dishes that are senior favorites. Meals will be delivered to participants 51 weeks a year. We don't deliver between Christmas and New Year's. Wednesdays will be our delivery day. And we will contract with contractors to provide housekeeping and snow removal services. These individuals will be vetted through us to ensure proper insurances and criminal record checks are in place. The program budget for 15 locations. So the total cost to the village of Pouce Coupe will be $50,000 annually.
So it's sort of like a $50,000 grant, and then you would run the program and sort of do all that. Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Is this correct in saying it's a maximum of 15 participants?
Per service.
Oh, per service, so it could be more than 15 people involved, but.
Yeah. So some seniors might just want housekeeping. Or some, sometimes it's snow removal. Some seniors want to push it around themselves still, and some really need the help with just even a small amount. So, but they might be really good in the kitchen still and providing their own meals. So.
Okay. And that $50,000 annually that Pouce Coupe would supply to you would then cover those 15 seniors maximum for each. Yeah.
Okay.
And senior, we're talking like 55 and up.
You wish.
I'm
Get
3
in.
meals a week, I'm in.
$5 a meal?
Oh, I'm in.
Let's look at it.
That's up to you guys to definitely set what
The
age
parameter.
range. The
Oh, we can set
parameters.
those up.
We did the trial last year. He said 60.
I'm thinking 55.
The other program is 65. So.
You've got him sold. He's going to sign up.
We're gonna talk.
So just the notes that the proposal is based on a maximum of 15 participants per service. If there are more participants, an additional cost could be negotiated. If we find out after a year you got 30 and we gotta help some of these guys, we have to negotiate with that.
So I know we're using the number 15 based off last year's participants, I think is where that 15 came from, where it was.
Some services had 15, some of them had more.
So if we were to direct staff or ask staff if they could put a survey back out to the community, just to kind of, because it's been a year, there's been some changes in the community, see how many are interested and stuff, just so we have an idea that kind of where we're at, and those numbers help you guys because we're looking at a 3-year commitment, potentially.
Yeah.
So if we do that, it's nice to know, kind of,
Sure.
look at future forecast and then kind of see where that could
That's what
potentially
you
go.
guys want to look at, that's fine with me. I also still have my book with all the seniors' names and addresses and phone numbers. It'd be an easy way, that would be a good place to start too as well.
Yeah.
So those seniors, are they still here? We still like some of these.
And then the only concern with doing that is that this proposal of $50,000 annually is based off of those 15. So if you're going to start looking at going at adding in more,
It's gonna be an additional cost, that's why
That's
I'd
right,
like to
yeah.
potentially look at going out and seeing how many people within the community are interested or would be interested within the next 3 years. Because, Ray's not eligible now, but 3 years down the road, he's gonna be really close to being eligible. So it'd be nice to be able to have a bit of that forecasting, just so we can say, hey, 50,000 might work this year, but we might need to look at stepping it up as time goes on. Or if that does come to council saying, hey, we need more money, it's not a big shock, because we know
We
where
talked
the
a little
funds
bit
are.
about having kind of a waiting list too. If we have, because housekeeping probably fill up quick. And, maybe then we base it on what we perceive as need, and having those flexible options to be able to do that. I do that, that's what I do. As the manager of the program. So on the last page, we just have the annual budget, so you can just see how we laid it out there. There is a small error, just we put the grant from Pouce Coupe up top, but it's written again on another line, we just cross that off.
oh, okay.
And then, so we just have the fees paid by the seniors, you can see each amount there. It's a projection based on the costs of the services. And then all our costs and we've come out so even in the end.
Yeah, no, this
Questions?
looks wonderful, and thank you so much for all of your work that you have put into trying to find something that works for the village of Pouce Coupe.
got a call today from Northern Health, somebody looking for services for somebody with this I'm like,
Yeah, we are,
nothing yet. But
we are getting there, yeah. You've done a phenomenal job, you know, definitely helping us notice that gap, noticing, you know, knowing that the PRRD plan just sadly was unable to work for the village of Pooskoopi, and the fact that you've been able to create something that's tailored to Pooskoopi,
Yeah.
that, you know,
Seniors at least getting some
it's
service.
getting some services, yeah, you know, I think that this is a great starting spot, you know, I think it's great that you still have all the contacts from the previous seniors, and you know, we can kind of start there, and I was so happy to see what you were able to
Great.
create.
I'm glad to see.
I know.
Yeah.
Councillor Whittle?
So when, with this, we're looking at budgeting this for the 2025 year, right?
If council.
If council, yeah, potentially for the 2025 year. Okay. So this wouldn't start until spring of next year, and it'd be in place for winter of next year.
We could, with us going into budget, we could potentially start for January.
Yeah, because that's kind of my concern is just this year I've heard a lot of it's going to be, we're going to get some precipitation potentially this winter.
Yeah.
And last year we had nothing really.
Yeah.
So if we get a normal snow load, my concern is, yeah, like, you know, it's great that we have this coming, but it'd be something to maybe have staff look back into what we have for some extra dollars and cents potentially kicking around in the kitty.
To start it sooner.
To start potentially sooner if that's the way council wants to go.
Okay, Councillor Rattle?
Actually, that kind of echo that, snow clearing, right, for November, December this year. I wonder what that would look like, but same kind of point. We don't really have something in the works right now, but.
You're right, we don't have something that works right now. If council did potentially have an interest to see if we could cover a few of those months, that is something that we'd have staff look into, just to sort of get a 3 month budget. I think Anne's pretty good. She whipped up a whole year one.
Yeah.
So if that is a direction that council is interested in going, we could definitely have staff look at it. I think we were currently looking at starting in January. I'm gonna go with Councillor Wall and then you, Councillor Wall.
Mayor, do you have, or maybe Mr. Anderson may have the numbers for last year, how many people do we know signed up for snow removal, roughly?
Last year? Yeah.
That would be an Anne question.
I didn't count before she came. It wasn't that many actually. I think maybe 6 or 8.
Yeah.
So it wasn't above that 15 mark?
It wasn't
that we're
above
looking
the
at.
15
No,
mark.
no.
The most successful was the house cleaning. That was the highest.
That was the highest.
Okay.
And the meals were pretty much right behind it.
Yeah.
So I guess the other question I have are two things. So one, yeah, we can't really base last year's snow removal on
No.
potentially this
No.
year because that was a free. That doesn't happen very often up here. The other one is if council chooses this is the direction we want to go and, you know, we can find some dollars and cents kicking around, does the society have the capacity to start this program before spring of 2025?
Yeah, anytime.
Because it's great for us to say, hey, we want this, but you know, if you don't have the capacity to do it.
We've run the PRD program for 4 years already.
Yeah.
So I'm very versed in all my contractors and what I need coming up. And then the other piece is I've been doing the in-town meal program for seniors in Dawson Creek, and that's money I have to find every year because it's not funded. So I have to ask for grants and things like that. So.
And that's where sort of looking at that 3-year commitment
Yeah.
from us would actually be very beneficial to them as well.
Yeah.
Mr. Anderson?
I guess for council, we did apply, last year we were successful in the Horizon grant to offset some of the costs, and we have applied again for the upcoming year for that. So we're not sure if it's money from heaven, you might get it, you might not, but just so you know, it's there, we'll hear something hopefully.
Hopefully in November, I think.
Yeah, I think before the end of the year, that might help with the decision, so.
Councillor Rattle?
What's the value of this current New Horizon grant?
I think it's 30,000.
Between 25 and 30.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, does anybody have any more questions for Anne?
Good job.
That's not a question. I appreciate this.
Appreciate it.
These meals look phenomenal.
They're gonna be so excited when they eat lunch. Like, I'm telling you.
And then don't forget your lunches.
Yeah. Well, Anne, thank you so much. You've done
Thank you.
a phenomenal job. And you will hopefully be hearing from us.
Sounds great.
You're more than welcome to stick around and watch the meetings. They don't get any more entertaining. If you don't want to, we totally get
There's
it.
popcorn in the back.
You know, if there was popcorn, they'd stay. Thank you guys. Have a wonderful night. Thank you so much.
Meal program.
Okay. Alright.
Do we have to make the recommendation that council accept the delegation as information?
I think you already did.
It's already-
It's done, yeah, we already,
Okay, I'm like, what information are we
No.
accepting?
We're accepting this.
Motion for
yes, so we're
office to
all,
look into.
that's up to you, so now
Do
it's
we want-
the delegate, well, he's got his hand up, so yes, Councilor Wood.
Okay.
Okay,
All right.
your room's empty.
So, actually, I got two parts to this. So, I'd like to, well, two parts. One, I'd like to see if we can have staff put out a survey, like nothing intrusive, just the Village Voice on our website, just asking people, hey, what services would you be interested in, right? And give the standard ones, just so we can get a kind of a ballpark. And then put the question on there, what services in the next 3 years might you potentially be interested in? And just to give us some base numbers, because if we look at it and say this year, you know, we got 20 people, like 15 people, let's say they're good for it. But 3 years down the road, whether as our population ages or as our population shifts, and we can see clearly, you know, that 3 years down the road that we might have 35 people in there, that means we need to kick a little more money into that kitty before we get there, right?
Can I touch on that first
That's
bit?
what I would like to.
My only concern with that is, you know what, that echoes the trial thing. Okay, so we put in big letters that was a trial, and then a lot of people seemed to miss that it was a trial, so when it ended, they were very upset. My concern is we put out a survey without promising anything, we're gonna get lynched.
This isn't a trial, this is something that we're potentially looking at. And going forward, for this coming year, we have our numbers for 15, for 2025, that's the number that we're potentially gonna take into planning and for budgeting season. But we'd be doing ourselves a disfavor if we don't look into the future to see what this is gonna cost us. Because, yeah, it's 50,000 this year, it might be 50,000 next year, but like I'm saying, 3 years down the road. And if we know that those numbers are coming, and we at least have a rough idea what's coming down the pipe, we can plan accordingly for it. When we have stuff like our Peace River Agreement money comes up for renegotiation, or different grant opportunities, or that kind of stuff. So
Can I throw an idea out there?
that's what I'd like to see with that.
My idea, I love where you're going, I think that's great. Could we do that if council decides to start with the 15 and then we put a survey out?
The problem is they're asking for a 3-year commitment. I personally will not, even though I think this is awesome, I will not vote in favor of this without having some metrics to say this is where we're going, because then we're putting the cart before the horse. We're committing to something for 3 years that we might find 2-3 years down the road that we're grossly under budgeted for, right? And I hate to say, hey, we're gonna commit to this for the next 3 years, and then we get 27 people on the waiting list come year 3, when if we would have known that, hey, this is potentially coming, we could look at adjusting things.
Now, so it's,
Right, so it'd be nice to know what's coming.
but the cap's at 15 people.
Okay, and then what's
And
the
then-
second part to that?
The other part, or the only other part to that, that's not really it's the second part. It would be just to have staff look into, currently where our budget numbers sit, to potentially be able to start this program in November, December, depending where our funds are potentially sitting this year, if we have any excess this year that we could potentially slide over.
Are you making a motion for staff to do that, or are you just throwing out an idea?
Right now, it's the discussion on that part. There is a motion though for staff, I do have a motion on the floor for staff to go, to do the survey. That is a motion on the floor.
Oh, that is a motion.
That should be a motion on the floor.
I had a comment, I didn't realize it was a motion.
Well, it's not, I didn't phrase it that well, so we'll have it as discussion, I'll rephrase it as a motion here in a second.
Okay, Councilor Wall?
I have a suggestion, because we have heard from the community that this is a service that is required, and that many people have asked for, and our trial run was a really great success. Based on the presenter's comments there, I do feel that if this is under budgeted, I feel they'd be happy to relook at it and see where we need to go.
Yeah.
And I'm not seeing them, like, telling us to shove it because we have 18 people interested in the 15-person program.
Well, and what I'd like council to note is that this is a grant from Pooskoopi, which would require reporting from the Dawson Creek Society for Community Living to us. So we would be, if we were to go into a 3-year contract with them, we could stipulate within there that we receive quarterly or yearly reports, and then in that we could learn information about any form of waiting list, which then we could use to budget for 2026.
Yes, and working on Councilor Whittle's idea here, I do think a survey would be a fantastic idea. However, right now we have last year's numbers. We already know what we're kind of working with. I think in 6 months' time, that would be the time to reassess and see where we're going and how many people did sign up for the programs and whatnot.
Okay, Councillor Ravel?
Where does it say 3 years? I just see this as this year.
Yeah, so if you look on the
Second page, top.
second page at the very top,
Under outcomes, halfway down. Dawson Creek
So-
Society Community Living.
in partnership with Coos Coopy, would like to see a 3-year
3 years.
commitment.
Yeah.
So I can-
Okay, yeah, it's right there.
Yeah.
Okay, then my suggestion from that would be, well, let's focus on this year. Let's focus on what's in front of us. Okay, so looking at this strategically, we did one trial one, right?
Mhm.
We have numbers from how many people picked up on that and which didn't work, seasonally dependent. 6 get snow clearing, but maybe it's 15, maybe it's 20, maybe it's 30, we don't know, right? With different snowfall conditions. If you want to look at it strategic long-term view, this is a program for people over 65, right? So what you would do is look at your population statistics and see an age pyramid and where it's headed, right? So there's a big old lump in the middle of middle-aged people that are 40 and 50. Well, in 20 years, they're going to be up there too, right?
And we've
So-
actually already done that, just so you know, our wonderful Mr. Stavro did that, and 26.2% of Coos Coopy currently is above the age of 65.
Yes. So we have a lot of folks that are there, and then more people will age into that bracket as well. So we have the demographic numbers that would anticipate the service. Sorry, Mayor. Anywho's, so we already have a proven track record with this. It's a service that the community needs. I would say do another year. The whole 3-year thing, it's still so novel. I think work with the folks on this. We should test it out, see where it goes. But anyways, we kind of already did the survey though, right?
We did, yes.
We did,
Yeah. Councillor Whittle.
Where my concern with it is the program for the people that used it last year was fairly successful. We received a few, minor complaints and suggestions. And with the program being successful, seniors talk to each other. We're gonna have more people potentially interested in it going forward than we've had in the past, because it was a trial program. There were some seniors that wouldn't take part in it because it was a trial program where they didn't understand what was going on with it, right? And where they were leery about it. I know some seniors in Dawson that didn't try the program until they'd heard from, the programs in Dawson until they heard from other seniors how successful and how well the program worked. And then they signed up for it. And that's my concern, is if we don't at least put out there to see who's interested, who's currently interested.
They can only service 15 right now anyway.
Well, it says in here that potentially more, right? And that's the
If we
thing.
have 30 come next year, the year after, then we look at expanding that.
But then you're, my
There's
concern
a
with that
catches
is
on 15.
we're lighting the fire to see
regardless.
how many mice run out, right? Instead of taking a survey to see how many mice are actually in the field before we light it on fire.
It's either we have 15 or not.
Well, no, I think it's a good program. I'm not against the program. I just
My thoughts.
think we should have more future outlook to see where this could potentially go, because it's a great program. I'm not denying that. But it's just,
Like 30 people, it'll be 100,000.
Well, that's the
But
thing, right?
That's why the ceiling's at 15 people.
I'd like to be able to see what we potentially have coming.
Councillor Wall.
I am very impressed with the way they put this together. And I do appreciate that I understand that it's only for 15 people as of now. If our service demand does increase, it does say at the bottom of the second page there, if there are more participants, additional costs will be negotiated.
Yes.
So if they give us a bad number, then we don't go up. But if we do, then I really don't see the Society of Community Living trying to screw us. I just don't see it happening. I'm in favor of this as is, and if those numbers go up in a year, well, then we go back to the Society of Community Living and ask and say, hey, we've had 21 people try to sign up for this. what do these numbers look like, and we go from there?
So,
That's where I'm.
what I'm hearing from council is a definite interest. This is going to need to be part of our budget conversations for 2025. If council would like to investigate if there's any money currently to begin the program early, I am going to need a motion from council for staff to go in that direction.
I'll make the motion.
Okay, and what is your motion, Councillor Wall?
The motion is that council direct staff to look into budget constraints regarding implementing seniors aging in place prior to the 2025 start.
Okay, and that's been seconded by Councillor Johnston. Okay, Mr. Anderson?
That's great, I just need to know, because there's three streams of help here. One is food, one is snow clearing, and one is housekeeping. For staff to do it, are we talking just snow clearing, or are we talking the entire thing?
Councillor?
Good question.
Survey to see what people are interested in.
I'm just wondering if Public Works is going to be serving food, is all I'm saying, so.
Well, from the information that we've ascertained from this delegation, my suggestion would be ranking it from snow, home, house cleaning, food. That's what I was understanding it to be. Snow clearing is the most critical. If emergency services can't get to the senior's door, that's a huge risk. If the person's unable to leave their house, it's a massive risk. My suggestion would be that we start with snow clearing first.
My recommendation to this council would actually be to have staff look out to see if there's any extra funding, and then to actually reach out to Anne again to see what the cost would potentially be to the village to run it for November and December of this year.
For the full slate?
For the full slate.
Was it not?
Yeah, I would say the full slate.
Well, they're now splitting it into three, so I'm trying to pull
I
it
would say
right
the
back
full
into one.
slate,
Oh,
too.
okay.
Yeah, Mr. Stavro, thank you.
Thank you. Just one of the things that may be, and I'm coming in late, so I apologize if that has been discussed. One of the things that the conversation we had with the delegates was that the finances can be quite flexible in terms of program utilization for each of the streams. For example, if there was less usage of one stream, that money could actually be invested in one of the other streams. And I think that if we were to look at possible past data, I don't know that we would see that all three streams were used the same way. So rebudgeting of the dollars within the funding portfolio is
Another option.
Is another option, which I think would be vital for us to keep on the back pocket for future.
Thank you. So my understanding, Councillor Wall, is that your motion is regarding staff looking into the cost of running the full program for November, December, most likely.
That was my intention.
Yes,
That's
so
what I said.
with any funds that are available. That was your understanding when you seconded?
Yes.
If
Okay.
that's not what I said, I can change
No,
it.
no.
So I meant for the full program.
Nope, that's absolutely fine. So for clarification, staff is going to look into what it would cost to run the program right now for November and December. Yes, Councillor Rattle.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I'm understanding we ask Society for Community Living, what's November, December for the full slate, and then we look in look in the big coin first and see
Look
where
at the
there's
big
room.
coin first, that's right, yeah.
Full of nickels.
Yeah. Okay, everybody's under the same understanding of that? I'm going to call the question. All those in favor of Councillor Wall's motion? All those opposed?
I'm going to abstain from this one because I think we're putting the cart before the horse.
So,
I support the program. I'm not going to vote against staff looking into it. But at
okay,
the same time, I think we're putting the cart before the horse, and we need to flush out some more matrix to see where we're going with this program in the future.
that's fine. I'd just like to remind you, Councillor Woodall, that an abstain vote is a vote in the affirmative. Okay, that's
So
fine.
it's unanimous and
So
carried.
that is
It's
carried.
not unanimous. It's
No,
still
it's
abstain.
just carried, yeah.
That's just carried.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Okay, so we are going to, did somebody come in?
Yes, come on in.
Oh, okay.
We're an open meeting for now.
Yeah, okay, all right, so we are going to move on to,
I have another motion.
oh, another one, okay, yes, Councillor Wall? Sorry, I do this to you all the time. Sorry.
My next motion is that we direct staff to enter conversations with
Dawson Creek Society for Community Living.
in regards to the implementation of this program starting in 2025.
That's seconded by Councillor Johnston. Mr. Anderson?
I was gonna bring this up previously, but this fits the motion anyway. Understanding, and we're talking about 3-year terms, we have to have a service agreement with this club, or this society, so we can flush out a lot of these details, and that service agreement would come to you folks prior to signing anything, and if we could write in some flexibility language for future years, we could certainly try and do that. Give you a sense of ease there, so.
Okay, any other discussion regarding staff beginning communication to the Goss Creek Society for Community Living? Okay, all those in favor? You're in favor?
I'm in favor of starting the process.
Okay, that was unanimous and carried. Oh, Councillor Johnson seconded that, thank you. Okay, moving on, I'd just like to give council a bit of a heads up. If we need to vary the agenda into the closed early, we may have to, just because part of our closed is here. And so what will happen is we'll move into the closed early, we'll go back into the open afterwards. Okay? So, reconvene, thank you. So item number 8, unfinished business rising from the minutes, there's none. Item number 9, new business. Who wants to read
9.1 holiday hours.
Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. He is on it this evening. Okay. All those in favor?
Wait, what are we voting on?
I know, there's no recommendation. No, sorry, recommendation to receive for discussion. Seconded by, you okay to receive for discussion? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. All those in favor? And that's carried. We're just receiving 9.1 for discussion. Are you in favor of that? Holiday
It's
hours.
holiday hours.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
Okay.
That is unanimous and carried. Thank you.
I apologize for my.
No worries.
I
We're
went
all
down
like
wrong
sick
too.
and
That's quite all right.
dying of something. Okay. All right. So you will see that the staff has begun looking into the holiday hour closures. So our wonderful interim CAO, Mr. Anderson, has put together a few options for us and then also sort of left it open. So last year, the office was closed for 4 additional days over and above the regular statutory holidays. I know that council had a fair conversation about that at the time. And that ended up resulting in the office being closed from the 22nd to January 2nd. So in that, Mr. Anderson has reached out to other neighboring municipalities to see what they are doing. And the majority seems to roughly be the same, that they are closed the statutory days but open the remainder of the other days. Staff has asked, so these are our options at the bottom paragraph that were provided by staff. So option 1 is suggesting closing for half a day on both Christmas Eve, I think that's supposed to say, and New Year's Eve, yeah. To allow them to prepare for events with their families, as well as closing on the 27th and opening the office for 1 day after a 2-day midweek closure. But it doesn't quite make operational sense. So another option is that we kind of provide ideas. So I've been sort of mulling this around in my head, and what is one direction that council is interested in, that for the week of Christmas, we're open the Monday, which is the 23rd, and the Friday, which is the 27th. And we close for that Christmas Eve, Christmas Day, and Boxing Day. And then for the second week of New Year's, we close for New Year's Eve and New Year's Day, but we're open the Monday, the Tuesday, and the Friday as well. So we're open 5 and we're closed 5. So kind of split it square down the middle.
How many additional days is that?
That's two additional days, Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve. So it's 2 additional days over and above the normal statutory days, but
It's not a whole week.
it's not a whole week. So they would be open the Monday and the Friday of the week of Christmas, and then the Monday, Tuesday, and the Friday of the week of New Year's.
So just to clarify, the option 1, we're talking about a half day on those eves. You're suggesting a full day.
A full day
Okay,
closure.
on a
So there's no weird.
a non-government holiday, the day before
Yeah.
Christmas and New Year's would be off.
The issue with the half days, I just want to throw this out to council, is quite a few of our staff members do live quite far out of town. So driving in for half days is, you know, we are looking at 20 to 25 minutes driving for some of them. So they're driving in, they're only working a 3-hour day, and then they're driving home. So it might be, it might make more sense for our staff here to just close on that Christmas Eve day, but make sure that we're open the 23rd and the 27th that week, which is the Monday and the Friday. Which is why I'm kind of throwing that option out there if council would like it. Councillor Whittle?
So, mess with that just a little bit, I like that idea, but could we, instead of being full and let staff figure it amongst themselves, but instead of being a full complement of staff, we just do skeleton in those 2 days?
For the Monday and the Friday?
Yeah.
Well, they are gonna use their vacation time, so any staff that would like to have it off are going to be working amongst themselves to figure who gets the short straw. I'm going to be honest. Mr. Anderson?
That's exactly right. We will throw this out there, and so, the reason we're bringing by the earlier is because they have a lot of their holidays left over,
Tons.
and they want to try and plan where they want to put them, and usually Christmas to New Year's gives them a little extended vacation. But understand that if we're gonna have the office open, you're absolutely right, someone has to be here, so, yeah.
So, there is that option for council. I thought I'd throw out my own option that's not quite on there, but I've been mulling it over and I've spoken to a ton of people about it. Councillor Ravel?
Yeah, this year's kind of an odd one because Christmas is on a Wednesday and New Year's Day is on a Wednesday. It's not a clean week. Like I think last year was a clean week or something like that. Anyways.
It was bunched differently.
Yes.
Yes.
So Monday the 23rd, Friday the 27th, and Monday the 30th being open would allow people to come in and do business. Business of the village wouldn't really stop. We would still have public works potentially on some sort of skeleton crew to clear roads and keep operations functioning, ensuring water lines and city services are still operational and stuff. So that sounds good. It makes a lot of sense. I find half days kind of pointless, to be frank. You know, not much work gets done on a half day, especially Christmas Eve. But yeah.
I would work a half day after. I'd come to work, but I wouldn't be working.
I'm sick for the afternoon.
Right?
And then basically 23rd, 27th, 30th, it would be, you know, the minimum 2 in the office for safety, and then, you know, the other folks would take their time.
Yeah.
Okay, fair, makes sense.
All right, well then I'm gonna throw the motion on the floor, that this year for the holidays, the office will be open the 23rd, the 27th, and the 30th, and we will be closed the 24th, the 25th, the 26th, the 31st, and the 1st.
Yeah.
Okay, really think about that. Did you get that, Mr. Stavro?
How many stats? There's only 2 stats in there, right?
There's 3.
There's 3 stats. Boxing Day is a stat as well.
Boxing Day's a stat?
Yeah.
It is.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So, okay, can I get a seconder on that motion? Seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Councillor Ravel?
Simply for clarification, the 3 statutory holidays are paid, and the Christmas Eve and New Year's Eve days would be unpaid closure days.
Mr. Anderson?
So, you're absolutely right, they would have to take their either bank time
Yes.
or holiday time.
They have a ton of bank time.
So if they didn't have, in the absence of those 2 streams, they would be unpaid.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, any other discussion? All of those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Nice and simple. Ha ha ha. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Okay, moving on to item number 10, correspondence 10.1.
Enbridge, Bridgely, pipeline extension, abandonment project.
Abandonment project, yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Receive for information. Seconded by Councillor Woodall. Any discussion on the information? There's really not much you can do with it. I hate to be the bearer of bad news.
So, right?
Yeah.
With us.
Yeah, that's why we're doing the old information thing. Councillor Wall.
I know it doesn't really pertain to us, but I think it's good for people to, in our region and in Puskubi to understand the type of work that is going on, what is happening in the oil and gas sector right now. So that's why I would like it still included in the minutes as a piece of information. But
Sounds
there's
good.
nothing we can really do, doesn't really pertain to us.
Any other discussion on 10.1? All those in, no? You good?
Oh, well, no, it's their business, you know, it's good that they're
He clicked, I was on, he did the old, he does that just before he speaks, we've all talked about this.
Well, I'm honestly curious, it just looks like it's a little foot that goes between 2 areas over the border, and this entire Tumbler Ridge piece has already been decommissioned.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what it's doing anyways.
All right, all those in favor? And that is carried to receive for information. Okay. 10.2. 10.2, Greener Affordable Housing Project, to receive for information. Can I have a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Okay, any discussion? Councillor Rabble?
What would this assist with? Is this for developers?
So by the understand of what I'm getting, this is for potential developers and multi-unit owners within the community. So this is really just letting us know that there are grant matching options out there for people that own multi-unit townhouses or apartment buildings if they're looking to make it more green, right? So this includes like green energy initiatives. Am I understanding that correctly, Ms. Strapper? Yes. So if they wanted to upgrade their furnaces or add in solar panels or put in thicker windows, or this is really just showing that, hey, we do have a grant matching thing. What might actually be a good idea, and I'm not sure if council is interested, but what we could do is we could just have staff kind of share this information with local multi-unit owners, apartment owners, and maybe some of the owners of, I don't know, does this cover hotels, Mr. Stavro?
It might.
It might.
It might actually.
So it might be beneficial.
Yeah, okay.
So if council's interested in having staff sort of share this through email to some of our local business owners and multi-unit owners, that's up to you guys. Don't know if you want to make a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Thank you,
I'll
Council.
second the motion.
That is seconded. Okay, so the motion, Mr. Stavro, is that staff share this information with local business owners and owners of local apartment and multi-complex buildings. And that was seconded by Councillor Wall. We're now into discussion. Councillor Rebel?
And then this has been verified as a legitimate organization and grant opportunity before we share it?
Mr. Stavro, I'm leaning on you. Yes.
Okay, fantastic. We don't want to end up sending some.
No, I understand.
Do you really think someone would say no?
No, I'm just saying, I get a lot of emails.
Random, I
that
know,
are-
spammy.
Yeah, so.
Nope, that's totally fair.
You ask me for gift cards quite often.
I do. You guys could just start sending those directly to me. That'd be really
jeez.
cool. All right. Okay. I'm going to call the question. All those in favor? And that is unanimous and carried. Thank you so much. Okay. Moving on to 10.3. Prime Minister's Education Award as Information. Seconder? By Councillor Johnston. Thank you. Tiny little finger.
I was trying to flip the page.
Okay. So this is for a local educator. You can, if there's any educator that you know of that might be interested, or might fit the requirement for the Prime Minister Education Excellence Award, it's just kind of putting the idea out there. This goes, I think this is for the community as well, right? So I'm not sure if council is interested in maybe putting this up on our website. We do have an elementary school in our community limits. And if this is something you would like to let the community know about, if they would like to nominate their child's teacher or principal within the Pouce Coupe Elementary School, they're more than welcome to. So that's up to you guys if you'd like to direct staff to put that
I'll
on the
make a
website.
motion that we add it to our.
And that has been seconded by Councillor Wall. Thank you very much, gentlemen. Good idea. I think so. Okay. Any other discussion about adding that to our website so people can nominate if they would like? All those in favor? And that is carried. Wonderful. All right. So,
I must recuse myself as I am the president of the Legion.
thank you.
I would like to declare a conflict of interest. I am part of the executive team for the Pouce Coupe Legion number 34. I am the treasurer, therefore I must recuse myself from the next agenda item regarding the tax exemption request for the Pouce Coupe Legion.
Wonderful. Thank you. I'll wait till you gentlemen go. If you just want shutting that door behind you, that'd be perfect.
I'll shut this down.
You said it much nicer than I did.
He rehearsed that in the shower. Okay, wonderful. Item 10.4, Pouce Coupe Legion tax exemption request for discussion. Can I get a seconder? Seconded by Councillor Whittle. Thank you so much. All right, gentlemen. I don't even know what page we're on.
Page 28.
Thank you. Okay, so as you can see, the Pouce Coupe Legion Branch 34 has asked for a request for a tax exemption for 2025. I feel it important to let you all know that sadly the deadline was in June of 2024 for the tax exemption for the year 2025. There is a few other tidbits of information. Mr. Anderson, you've kind of looked into this a bit more than I have.
Well, just briefly, I was just talking with our finance department. There's some deadlines, as you've indicated. The other one is, we have to have things brought forward in a timely fashion by no later than the end of this month, pending some previous applications that have to be gone through. So there's some time-sensitive things. So the end of this month is coming up, so we don't have enough time to put all this together. Then it's got to be brought forward to another council meeting to be approved. And it simply won't hit the deadlines that are required to get them exempt. We can, though, entertain them coming forward in more timely fashion, let them know, give them a heads up in anticipation of deciding it for 2026.
Yeah, what might actually be beneficial if council is interested is you can actually have staff send them the tax exemption information so that they understand of what needs to be done prior to the 2026 year. And then that will kind of give them a bit of a starting point in that direction. Councillor Whittle?
So is it possible for the Legion for 2025, because it's too late for them for this year, is it potentially possible for them to defer this year? And then we can send them all the information they need, work with them towards 2026, getting that, and then in 2026, do we have the potential, or is it doable to make it retroactive to 2025, or would that be like a grant, or they would just be responsible if they deferred this year, then they'd just be responsible to clean up this year later on down the road and be able to be tax exempt potentially for 2025. And now the other part of our 2026.
Sorry, hang on, point of clarification, what do you mean by deferred?
Defer their taxes, so they don't pay them this year.
So they don't pay them?
Yeah, they don't pay them this year, they say, hey, we'll pay their back taxes next year. And then if we potentially make them tax exempt for the following year, then it gives them time to pay that potential tax bill. Now the other part of that is that only the Pouce Coupe portion that we're exempting off those taxes, potentially, so like the whole, like.
Well, yeah, the hospital and tax, we don't cover, that's provincial.
Yeah, so
Mr. Anderson?
you're exactly right. There's a portion of the tax, school taxes, hospital taxes, utilities are still in there. I believe the property tax, Trina would be the best one. She told me that we still have to pay a certain portion, but I'm understanding they have a reduction now, a special reduction in taxes from what they
have a non-profit reduction for half of the building.
Yes.
So half of it is run and registered as a business, which is the bar.
Yeah.
And then the hall is actually already receiving the non-profit tax exemption status, where it's not exempt, but it's getting a lower tax bracket.
Yeah, because wouldn't they have to go to the province or the regional district to look at getting a tax exemption for the rest? That's not our portion.
I don't know that they would be exempt from that, but you know what? I could, that'd be part of the staff report. We could look at all those details in greater detail. In terms of deferring tax or to.
So that's not something we as a municipality should ever recommend.
Normally, that's not to say we can't look into what that looks like, but off the top of my head, that might not be
beneficial.
The only reason I brought it up is because I know the Legion's, struggling to rebuild right now, and having that, being hit with that potential tax bill, if they can, not saying take it away or absolve it, but allow them to defer, then it allows them to kind of get their feet back underneath them and potentially gives them a little help, right? That's all I'm trying to do, is give them a little.
Mr. Stanbrook?
Mayor, thank you. Is there any way they would be able to have like a payment arrangement or a payment plan or something of that nature? The concern that I have is that I do know that the Legion is quite strapped financially, and given wearing my economic development hat, I would be very, very concerned if we were to lose an organization in the community that really could be very beneficial for some of the things that we would want to do. So I don't know if there's any options there.
Mr. Anderson?
So people don't have to pay their taxes, as you know, every year, heaven forbid. But
can we all stop saying this on camera today?
Well, but you've got.
There are consequences.
There are consequences to that. There's
yes.
interest charges on that, and then they have to make a choice after the third year, I believe.
Yes.
So, I'm not saying that we should let anybody do that, but they've been paying their taxes regularly up until now. So,
Well, that's where I was kind of coming at with the deferral is because if we allow them to defer, then basically gives them that option of a payment option to be able to pay them as they can, but they're not incurring that additional interest on it.
You know, I think
Because they have made the effort of coming forward and asking if we can help them.
I think what may be really beneficial to them, like honestly, is having our staff provide them with the information and the steps that they need going forward to file a tax exemption for the 2026 year. Like even, no, 2026.
It's too late for 2026.
Too late for 2025, but if there's a way that our staff can assist them or provide them with the information that's required, that will at least help them start getting on the path where, okay, so we can't do 2025, but we can get everything ready for 2026.
Well,
And our ladies here are phenomenal.
The only thing I'm trying to, that's what I said at the beginning, is
Yeah.
do that, I have staff do that, but what I'm concerned about is I don't want them to be sitting there racking up interest on that outstanding tax.
No, I do
That's
like the
my
payment
biggest concern.
option.
That's why, well, doing a payment option or deferral, like it's essentially works out to the same thing, it's just what we call it at the end of the day.
I don't know how that
We
works.
just don't pay them and then they pay them as they go along and it, right?
Mr. Anderson?
Yeah, so I'm not, thank you, I'm not certain on payment plans for taxes, but there's a lot of good information that we as staff could come back to council with a complete report in a more timely fashion that will suit the needs for the group. Taxes aren't due till, July of next year for 2025, so we've got some time for staff to develop a good report for options for everybody to get, because we're not even sure if they'll even comply based on their status, I'm not sure.
Okay, I'm gonna make two motions. My first motion, I make the motion that staff reach out to the Hooskupi Legion Board to provide information on the tax exemption process for 2026 and let them know that sadly they have missed the deadline for 2025. Can I get a seconder on that motion? Seconded by Councillor Johnston, thank you. Any discussion on that? All those in favor? And that's carried. And then once your fingers catch up, you ready? My second motion is that the staff work with the Hooskupi Legion on their property taxes for 2025, as well as the tax exemptions for 2026, and bring us back a report once they have received more information. Can I get a seconder on that? Seconded by Councillor Johnston. Any discussion regarding that motion? All those in favor? And that is carried. Mr. Anderson, do you need anything else from me further for that? Or does
That is fine, and if I need further clarification, I can bring it back to a future meeting.
That's a beautiful little button. Alrighty, okay, you can bring them back in.
Dun dun dun.
Okay, once the gentlemen are sitting down. Gentlemen, I would like to put a motion on the floor to vary the agenda to move into closed, as we do have a delegation in the closed that is looking to meet with us for 8 p.m. as they have had to fly from out of town to be here. So I'd like to put the motion on the floor to vary into the closed portion of the agenda. Can I get a second? Seconded by Councillor Will. Any discussion regarding varying the agenda? All those in favor? And that is carried, thank you. So I make motion that we move to in-camera as per section 91C and M of the community charter. Can I get a seconder?